Good morning and welcome to Free Daily Coaching. It's Friday Free For All. We are here Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. Pacific, where Mr. Bert Bledsoe tackles a different topic every day, Monday through Thursday. So if you don't want to miss all this awesomeness, you might want to go to www.freedailycoaching.com and sign up so you won't miss anything. On Fridays, I get the honor of being the host of Free Daily Coaching. And Bert has entrusted this with me, and I am honored to have that position. We do different things with this show, but right now we're interviewing friends of Free Daily Coaching, which is Bert's private mastermind. And so I get to interview this amazing group of people, and I'm very lucky to be able to do that. This week, I would like to welcome Mr. Whitman Able to the hot seat. So get any questions that you have ready. Remember the delay, and so get your questions in early if you've got any. Mr. Whitman, come on out and say hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Whitman. I'm so glad to have you here with me this morning.
Thanks for the invite.
Well, you know, we always talk about you being the barbecue man, the judge of the fantastic barbecue around Memphis. But there's so much more to you than just barbecue, as I have found out. Like any good marketer and investigative person, I've been snooping around your wall and asking you a few questions. So you're not only a barbecue judge, but you're many other things. A musician. You want to tell me about that? And you told me something about the Super Bowl.
Yeah. I grew up in a music family, all my life, and so when I, entered high school, I was a clarinet player. So I was in the band and playing clarinet. Went on to college playing clarinet, and my first, I guess you could say, grand moment was playing in the Super Bowl game in Miami between the Jets and the Baltimore Colts. And that was my heyday. Yeah, that's all I can say. We had a good time. And I do believe if I recall, we did Super Bowl 4 also. I'm not sure, but we did play halftime at several of the NFL, what call them AFC playoff games in the vicinity down in Florida. Right.
Well, I know the energy around that kind of athletic event is quite high, so that's your 5 minutes of fame.
Yeah, I got a chance to see Jackie Gleason, of all people. What's the quarterback name? Johnny Unitas, and of course Joe Namath.
Joe Namath, yes.
Right.
I'll never forget him and the stockings.
Yeah. But I was a young, dude then, so it was all bling bling.
Yeah, of course. Very exciting. All right, so you told me also that you've been a producer. You're a volunteer for the Red Cross. You're an admin for websites.
Yes.
Consultant. Tell us a little bit about that.
As far as the admin, there's 2 websites that I have created and I maintain for the organization that I'm affiliated with. So I'm, busy making all the changes, updates, and additions, and all that. On the Red Cross side, I'm going through all the necessary training to become a disaster assistant Red Cross volunteer. So I've been going through a lot of training on that and waiting my call which really I hope there isn't a disaster for me to come work on, but yet and still, you know, the Red Cross is here to serve. So I'll be ready whenever, you know, my number comes up to go out and provide some assistance.
I know when I worked for the airline, I went through emergency response. I was going to be, and I never had to do it, but my group was going to volunteer to work with the families. And I think that would have been very heartbreaking had I ever had to do it. It would have been very emotional. And so I think you're going to run into some of that too if you ever have to do a real emergency.
Yes. And I really kind of got my, I guess you say, my feet wet by going to Belize once a year with a medical mission, where they go into the villages out in the surrounding area and provide medical assistance to the villagers that show up at the hurricane centers. So that's been an eye-opening experience for me also.
Well,
and as far as serving, yeah.
We're just going into hurricane season too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you said that you produced a TV show for several years. What kind of show was it?
Yeah, during the time when I was a volunteer at that time, it was not Comcast, it was Time Warner Cable. Being a volunteer in the studio doing the production and stuff, I eventually submitted an application to produce and create a business computing show. So it was my responsibility to go out and get clients, or let's say guests, to discuss, demo, show, and all types of issues going on in the computer industry. I was not the host, but I was the guy behind the scene, switching the cameras and doing all the technical work. So I had that program going on for somewhere in the neighborhood of 15 years. Yep.
Now your marketing business, how supportive is your family? Is anybody else involved with you in the marketing?
No.
No.
I ain't gonna go there because she's here in the house.
Well, you told me that you're also the co-owner of your son's towing business. Now, unless he's got a bunch of people working for him, he gets called all time. I see you laughing.
Yes, he's the one that goes out on the road and pick up the cars, and I'm just behind the scenes guy that helped him financially to get it started. It was something that he wanted to do. I said okay, so I'm supporting him as well as being co-owner. So
he gets called out at all hours of the day and night.
Yes, just like today, since we have our first drop of snow going on around here. Well, I'm sure he's going to be getting some calls for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So the Memphis in May Festival, I assume that's where the barbecue is too.
Yeah. In May, we have what they call the Memphis in May International Festival. The first weekend in May is the Memphis Beale Street Music Festival. It's a big lineup of various artists that they bring in to perform across 4 different stages throughout the park area down on the river. The third week is the week of the barbecue cooking contest, and then the last week leading up to Memorial Day is the Sunset Symphony, but they are changing that around. It'll be something different this year. But during the week of the barbecue fest, there's a load in where the teams have to, get their designated areas where they can go set up their tents and structures and all that, and get their stuff going. And then on Friday, there's a cook-off on things that's not related to pork, And then on Saturday is the big pork cookout and the contest for judging all of the different categories of meats, of porks, that is. Yeah.
That sounds like fun. What do you look for?
We, and when I say we, I'm talking about close to 300 judges. We judge 3 different teams. We get selected out of the judges and all that. We have 3 different teams, and we judge on various categories. Appearance of the meat, the tenderness of it, taste, flavor, and the appearance of the actual cooking area. If the weather is great, we judge everything from the top of the tent all the way down to the ground. But
Wow.
if it's wet and muddy, we judge from the knees up.
How many applicants do you usually have in the contest?
We have close to 300 teams at the contest down in the park. They squeeze them in there one way or the other to get them, placed in there, right?
So you get to taste a whole lot of barbecue.
Just 3. Just 3 teams.
Okay.
Right. And when you're tasting, that's all you're doing. You're tasting. You're not, putting your elbows on the table, having a feast. You're sampling their entry.
You don't have the bib and the forks ready.
No forks. You do it all with your hands.
Now you've decided to take your marketing business in a little bit of a different direction, being an affiliate marketer, and I believe you said you were going to be working with JB Zoo. And how's that working for you?
Not JB Zoo. I probably stated that because I've purchased several products out of JB Zoo, that I get bombarded with a lot of their marketing emails on their different products. So I'm trying to cut back on that because my inbox just gets loaded with that stuff. Okay,
so who are you being an affiliate for?
My affiliate is, of course, with my Lead System Pro.
Right.
But I have 2 primaries that I'm dealing with. One is in video communications, and there's another high ticket item company.
So what are you using to market these items?
My Lead System Pros, tools, products, the lead capture page, and what have you, as well as just doing some promotion and what have you myself, both by way of email, AWeber, and of course word of mouth.
Okay, but are you using Facebook mostly?
Yes, Facebook and LinkedIn and a little bit of Twitter.
I know a lot of people are going towards Twitter. I've had my account with Twitter for 13 years, but I hardly ever use it. I was in it at the beginning. So what kind of Facebook promotions have you been doing?
What kind of what?
Facebook promotions have you been doing?
I have just been doing regular old posts on both my profile page and my fan page, and I am getting around to doing some some pay-per-click type stuff, some paid ads.
And what about LinkedIn? I'm sorry, go ahead.
On LinkedIn, I basically take a post, let's say like the Wednesday webinar. I'll take all that swipe plus an image and all that, and I go over on LinkedIn and I'll post it initially on my profile, and then what I can do is share it in various groups that I'm a member in on the LinkedIn side.
Right. Mm-hmm. I know LinkedIn's got a place. So what is it called? LinkedIn Pulse. You could
I've heard of that.
You can actually write articles and stuff over there, like Facebook Notes. And I know, I think Google Plus is headed that way too. Have you used them at all?
No, I have not. Although I have an account.
I do too. Anybody that's got, what about YouTube? Do you do a YouTube?
Nope. I do
No.
have a YouTube account, but I'm not posting any videos, over there, as far as marketing anything. I'm trying to stay focused on doing it locally and eventually doing my my blog that I'm still working on. But as far as the video portion of it, I know that's my dog, y'all. Pardon. But as far as doing the videos, I haven't ventured into that market yet, although I should be doing it. Yeah.
Yeah, I get pretty much mileage out of my videos. Do you have a daily method of operation, something that you try to follow religiously?
Oh yeah. Matter of fact, yesterday I was trying, Bert's 1, 2, 3, 5, 5, 5, and I got caught up in so many conversations with people. I said, okay, I'm gonna have to tell everybody goodbye. Talk with you later. But I got some positive feedback, and I also ran into some former My Lead System Pro members, and I tried to explain to them that they ought to come back and join the club, so to speak, especially since we got free daily coaching going on. But they got their own mindset on how they want to do things.
Right.
And one guy actually thought My Lead System Pro was like a MLM, so I had to explain that to him, and I said, okay, I'm getting tired of all this exchange of talking back and forth. Otherwise, I had exceeded my 5 minutes.
So do you take, a certain time block to work on your blog and a certain time block to work on the messages? And
Yes.
do you have any books that have had an impact on your marketing?
Ooh, Slight Edge. I think I got it. Yeah. Yeah. Slight Edge. Everybody know about that. And another one is called The Power of I Am. This is by who? Joel Osteen. You've heard of that?
Yeah, I've heard of Joel,
Yes.
but there is great power in the I am.
There you go. Yes. Pretty good.
In fact, there's very much power in the I am.
There you go.
Well, I'm not seeing any questions out there. Jackson had asked how LinkedIn was working for you. Do you track when you put your links out to like LinkedIn? Do you track it with the question mark and the
No,
on the end?
I haven't tried that yet.
I forget to do it too, and it's really something you should know where your traffic's coming from.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, I'm not seeing any questions out there, my dear. We'll give it a couple of more seconds with the delay.
Yeah. And by the way, all that extra stuff I've been, telling you about, I was doing that while working full time, and I'm here to talk about it. I made it.
Yay!
I was a busy critter back then. Yeah.
We tend to burn ourselves out over time.
Right. I would leave work for lunch, go to my little office, sit there, either call somebody or, check messages, and go back to work. And then when I get off from work, go back to the office, stay there till about 9 o'clock, and call some folk. And if there's a computer issue and what have you, I will schedule an appointment with them and go to their home or business and deal with the issue. Yep. At the same time, doing all that while being on call once a month.
I say I'm very impressed with that.
Yeah.
Well, I still don't see any questions, so I guess we will shut it down for the day. I really, really appreciate you coming and spending time with me this morning, Whitman.
Thank you.
You've had an amazing life, and I think that it's just going to get more amazing, don't you think?
Absolutely. I wrote my $1 million check out to myself.
Did you?
Yeah. 2021. That's my goal.
The problem with that is not many people have checks anymore. It's all a plastic part. I do have some checks, however. I need to do that too. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us this morning on this episode of Free Daily Coaching, and I hope you enjoyed the interview as much as I did having Mr. Whitman on. We chat sometimes during the week, and I really enjoy his friendship. Oh, wait a minute, Mario's. I knew they always wait to the last. What do you consider the most important skill set from your prior work experience?
Skill set, most important was programming. That was one skill set I had to stay on top of. It's like bread and butter. I had to stay on top of my game. I had to stay educated. I had to seek information from outside sources in my line of work, and I just had to be the best at what I'm there to do.
Well, he said to be used currently in your internet business, but I would think being able to program would transfer over.
Well, yeah, that being consistency and structure. I came up in corporate America these 30-something years that I was in it, and in a structured environment. I was, I guess you say, born, raised, and trained by way of IBM, and programming this and programming that languages here, and in production and database support. So structure was a key thing, where you had to think about what you were doing before you did it, model it, and then execute it in the proper steps. And if something ever went wrong, you had to be accountable, for whatever took place, and make sure that you could explain why A didn't work when B did. So.
Okay, now Christy's got a question. What is your big why? Why, after you're retired, after everything you've done, what's your big why into why you're doing this now?
Because I love it. I like working with people, and I want to stay busy. I don't want to sit back, watching TV and, playing the what is it, 40-40-40 game of doing nothing, waiting on my checks and all that to come in. As I said, I'm active in volunteer organizations, serving. I'm about to venture out into another organization to serve high school kids in their computer training. And I just want to stay busy and serve. But in marketing, I want to take that step and learn something new as I'm doing now. That's why I told you earlier, Chris, I said, look, I'm not that successful. I'm just an understudy in this field, and I'm learning from you and everybody else that gives some type of presentation on how they did this and that. So, hey, I'm all ears and one mouth.
Well, if you ever stop learning, that's the day you die, I think.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, Steve says, what's 40-40-40?
40-40-40? Okay. Uh, the term that I use is being a member of the 40-40 club, 40-40-40 club. You work 40 hours of your life. What is it? Yeah, y'all help me with this. You work for 40 hours a week. You retire with only 40% of your income, and the other 40 is, what is it?
I don't know. I've
I
heard this,
can't think.
but I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't think of the third 40, but it all fits into, hey, being retired, 40-40-40.
Yep. Well, you do have a, Christy says you have a servant's heart, and I can tell you that you do, and you care about people and you care about your community. So I admire that very, very much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. It doesn't look like there's any other questions. So, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this interview as much as I have doing it. And remember, we are here Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. Pacific. And I hope that you guys have a fabulous weekend. Be blessed. And we will see you again on Monday.